Welcome. It's Wakey time. American football. Now, my grandfather, my dad's dad, Claude Fuller, we called him Johnny. He was the scholarship and loan accountant in the administration for Ohio State University. And then he was the associate athletic director for finance and accountant for athletics. He was also the commander of the American Legion at OSU. And I dedicate this video to him. He loved football. He loved the Ohio State Buckeyes. I admit, I do not watch football. I don't have a problem with it. I just don't have a lot of time with everything I do. I probably should relax, sit back, and have fun. But, you know, we gotta eat. Life's a grind, life's a hustle. Life is a game. Most of sports, probably all of sports, have to do with meditation. I talked to a new friend earlier today, and he said it probably has more to do with numerology and astrology, but all of that is part of it. All of that is part of the meditation. And you know what we do? We're going to get into it. And if you don't know what we do, and this is new to you, you're in for whatever. So, let's talk about American football. The playing field. So the word field, Jesus talked about the field. Krishna said the body is the field. Anytime you see the word field, earth, nation, in all the ancient stories, it is talking about your body, your field, your Taurus field. This is the field. This is the earth. This is the nation. So you have the National Football League. Ligare, league is Latin, ligare, which means to bind. Because you're going to bind the Nation L football. And we're going to get into this. Field, Old English field, plain, pasture, open land, cultivated land, the earth. The playing field of football, American football, is a rectangle, right angle, straight angle. Straight means stretch, like the straight and the narrow. Stretch, you stretch. The right angle, the straight angle, the straight and the narrow. The playing field is measured in yards, which are 36 inches. 3 plus 6 is 9, which means consciousness. It's 120 yards by 53 1/3. So, it's 2,120 square yards. 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 0 square yards is 5. The 5 senses. Your body, the field. The playing field is the 5 senses, this density, this reality we live in. The field of play. That's why you have a 50-yard line to the end zone. The end zone, the 0 line, the 0 point. 6 points for a touchdown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points for a touchdown. The football. Your feet represent the lowest part of you that touches the earth's energy. The football is where God meets the earth through you, where you connect your electricity with the earth at the feet, your physical feet, the root chakra, your metaphysical feet, energetically speaking, electrically speaking, because this is below your waist is the sea. This is where the earth begins. So where you connect your electricity with the earth and the divine, the football. Goal means boundary or limit. The goal or the goal. Goal. And the G, the throat chakra, the gimel, the camel that leaves the desert. The O is the single eye. And the A is the ox head, the bull's head of meditation, the ball. And the L is the shepherd hook, or the spine. L, Lamed, Phoenician, may have come from a pictogram of an ox, goad, or cattle prod. Some have suggested it represents a shepherd's staff. Foot, terminal part of the leg of a vertebrate animal, your spine. Old English foot. We don't have to go through all this. It goes through all the languages back through. It really just does mean foot. But foot and mysticism, feet and mysticism, the lowest part of your energy, your electricity that meets the earth. And it's talking about at the root chakra. Foot also means 1400 circa AD to dance, to move or travel on foot, the football field. Mid 15th century, to make a footing or a foundation. If you don't know what a ball is, I don't you know. Round object, compact spherical body, a ball used in a game. Be all, evidenced by the diminutive bialuk, which means testicle. From cognate Old Norse, baller, ball. From Proto-Germanic ballas. Source also of Dutch bal, Flemish bal, Old High German ballo, German ball. From pry root bel, to blow or swell. We've talked about this before, you know. The ball, the bell, the bell, B-E-L, the bowl, and the boar and the bear. And they're all the same. When you break it down to the single letters, it's all the same. And you can go run in circles and circles and circles through the metaphysics of it all, the mysticism, and the hidden meanings. And I feel like we don't have to do that, but you know. So you have the bell, like you strike a bell that rings when struck. To roar, to sound. You have Baal, the name of a Semitic solar deity worshipped especially by the Phoenicians and the Carthaginians, with much license and sensuality. Baal, owner, master, Lord. Also in Latin form, Belus, B-E-L, Bel, heaven and earth, god of Babylonian religion, from Akkadian Belu, literally Lord, owner, master. Who is the owner of your field? Who is the master or lord of your foot, your feet, your foundation? And I know some of you, well, God is. Well, yeah, we can explain all that. But without your consciousness, to be able to connect with God and be one with God, your consciousness is the bell. Bell can also mean beautiful, beautiful, fair, fine, like the sun. A unit of power level in measuring sound, B-E-L, like ringing of the bell. Named for the Scottish-born telephone pioneer, Alexander Graham Bell. Bull, male of a bovine animal. Bull, male of the domestic bovine. The bull. The boulder. And we talked about the boulder. And we talked about the stones being the chakras. Germanic verbal stem meaning to roar, and this is in the bull animal etymology. And if you go back to the bell, it comes from the same root. Baal was a title and honorific meaning owner or lord in the Northwest Semitic languages spoken in the Levant during antiquity. From its use among people, it came to be applied to gods. Scholars previously associated the theonym with solar cults and with a variety of unrelated patron deities. Unrelated. We'll mark that. That's another show. I'm sure they're related. But inscriptions have shown that the name Baal was particularly associated with the storm and fertility god Hadad and his local manifestations. The symbols for Baal, who's equated with Zeus. You're talking about the sixth chakra now. We're talking about the power system within your brain. The bull. These are his symbols, the bull. The ram. Hippocampus, R-A-M, ram. Memory. And the animal representing and symbolizing. And the thunderbolt. as in Ammon's horn and the thunderbolt of the fornix. Zeus, Baal, the ball, the ball. So, the Baal equated with Hadad, Ugaritic, Romanized Hadu, Hadad, Adad, Akkadian, pronounced as Adad. I can't. I don't like that either. Ordiskur, Sumerian, was the storm and rain god in the Canaanite and ancient Mesopotamian religions. He was attested in Ebla as Hada, 2500 BCE. From the Levant, Hadad was introduced to Mesopotamia by the Amorites, where he became known as the Akkadian, Assyrian, Babylonian god Adad. Adad. Adad and Iskar, usually written with the logogram, and it shows the pictograph there. The same symbol used for the Hurrian god Teshub. Hadad was also called Rimon, Rimmon, Pedar, father, Rapeu, Baal Zephon, or often simply Baal, Lord. The bull was the symbolic animal of Hadad. He appeared bearded, often holding a club and thunderbolt, and wearing a bull-horned headdress. Hadad was equated with the Greek god Zeus, the Roman god Jupiter, as well as the Babylonian Bel, B-E-L. So, also Ba is the body, and Al is El, the electrical god, which is within you. The El Elyon. So the football. The foot of the ball and the lance, the ball and the lance. The brain and the spine, the balance. And the foot of this system within you is the root chakra, where your feet touch the earth. Your feet touch the earth, the root chakra. The lowest part of your consciousness energy. Now, one could make an analysis that the whole game is played within your consciousness in the brain. But you're really just perceiving, you're just imagining all this. It's all within your torus field. I mean, the whole field and all its players take part. And you have duality, the two ends of the pole. You have an offensive team trying to make their goal, and the defensive team trying to stop you. This is the struggle within us. This is everyone's mind right now. in trying to make any decision. You have a whole energetic team trying to help you, and a whole energetic team trying to stop that. 11 players. The 10 parts of the tree of life, plus the da'at, the knowledge, you. So I had to learn some stuff about football, and I'm going to learn some more as we get into this. And, you know, if you don't know anything about football, you're going to learn some too. And yeah, I'm checking the time. I know I can see it's running, but, you know, I'm not going to make any excuses. So, I found a website, Perchance. God Chance. Per means God, by the way. It happened to be Nike.com. Words by Greg Presto. The quarterback has to know everybody's position on the field. Knowledge, da'at. On the tree of life. The lineman just needs to know to block here, and a receiver knows to run here, but the quarterback has to know everything. There's a big responsibility to see the whole field and to know the whole field, not just play your own position. So you need the knowledge, you need the teachings. The quarterback. I'm not sure where these all fit in if we get into chakras. And maybe it's a little deeper than that. I have some ideas. And let's present them. A quarter of the full back, the full chakras, the full set. Between the second and third, the marriage, Libra, the power, your gut feeling connected to your intuition. Then the half back would be the root chakra, and that line of scrimmage is the heart chakra. Quarter means the fourth, though. So half back could be second chakra, the sacrum, the sacred place, making the line of scrimmage the pineal gland. And the quarterback is the fourth chakra. The sun. The word half comes from Old English. Health, I don't know how to pronounce it. Halbaz, meaning part divided. The original sense was side or part rather than necessarily equal division. He was pierced in the side. A meaning still seen in the word be half. Coming to me now, half back could be you doing something half-assed. You know, halfway, half back. You need all of it. You need the quarterback, the halfback, the fullback, the whole team, all 11. You have to give it your all. The ultimate origin of half is uncertain, but it may derive from the Proto-Indo-European root kel, to cut. The offensive lineman. With some offensive positions, the number of each player type on the field can vary. There can be 1, 2, or even 5 wide receivers on the field, but there must always be 5 offensive linemen. From the quarterback's point of view, those 5 are the left tackle, the left guard, center, right tackle, right guard. The 5 offensive linemen. So it does not include the quarterback. Well, within the field, within the torus field, you have 5 chakras. The 5 offensive linemen. And you have the left and the right, because the 3rd chakra is actually 2. Left and right. And the throat chakra is actually 2. Left and right. So it could leave the quarterback being the da'at, the knowledge, between the pineal gland and the throat. 11 players. The center. Late 14th century, middle point of a circle, point round which something revolves. Makes me feel like the heart chakra, because it all's revolving around what? The sun. From Old French centra, 14th century, from Latin centrum, center, originally the fixed points of the 2 points of a drafting compass. The fixed point of the 2 points of a drafting compass, hence the center of a circle. From Greek kentron, sharp point. Goad again. Where did we see goad? Where was goad? Ox goad, the ox center, the meditation center, the L, the shepherd staff, the cattle prod, the ox goad. So what is the sharp point? The goad, G-O-A-D. Sting of a wasp. I haven't looked wasp up. The sting. Middle point of a circle, round which something revolves. Interesting. From Kentian, stitch. We talked about sewing. From P-I-E, Proto-Indo-European root Kent, to prick. Source also of a spur. Welsh, kether, nail. Old High German. I'll tell that story another time. I had a guy install cable. I think his name was Tim. He told a story about High German and Low German. If I ever see him again, I'll call him the High German. Handtag, sharp. Pointed, the center. It's really about being centered. It's the whole thing. Imagine a compass, the mountain. Pineal gland is the point, but it also points to the circle being drawn, root chakra. The point of the needle, the shepherd's staff, the goad. But it does start with a G. Interesting. It makes me think of the Freemason symbol. It would be as above, so below, within you. The center is the most important member of the offensive line. The center is often the captain of the offensive line. Said Andy Ryland, Senior Manager of Education and Training for USA Football. The word captain comes from the Latin word capitanius, meaning chief or principal, principal, which itself derives from the Latin word caput, meaning head. Every single play, the center touches the ball. That isn't true for any other position on the field. The center is your consciousness. That's why it's all those places. When a play starts, the center snaps the ball. You do. Your consciousness snaps the ball. Handing it or tossing it between his legs, root chakra upward, into the playing field, to the quarterback or another player. This starts the play, the theater, the God show, the meditation. Something flew past my head. I don't know if there's a bug in here or not. So, let's look at some words that have to do with American football. Tackle. Mid-13th century, tackle. Apparatus gear, like in fishing. Especially the rigging of a ship. And this is the ship. The rigging of the ship. What would take you down in this sense, in football, in a meditation, in consciousness sense? What would take you down if this is the ship, your brain? The rigging. Our brain is designed to deceive itself, and we're talking about left hemisphere of the brain. From Middle Dutch or Middle Low German, takel, T-A-K-E-L, same spelling as apparatus and gear. The rigging of a ship, which is perhaps related to Middle Dutch taken, grasp, seize, lay hold of. Like tackling a task or a chore. We talked about char in the Colossus of Rhodes video. The household work. Lay hold of. Guard, early 15th century, one who keeps watch. A body of soldiers. Soul is the sun. Soldiers. Die, the dipole, the duality, the diers, the emotion of a person. Also care, custody, guardianship, and the name of a part of a piece of armor from French garda, guardian, warden, keeper, watching, keeping, custody. From Old French garder, to keep, maintain, pressure, protect. Verb, guard, mid-15th century, from guard, or from Old French garder, to keep watch over. Guard, protect, maintain, preserve. perceive, watch out for in the pi root. W-E-R, which is W-E-L, which is B-E-L. The sun god, the bell. It's all intertwined. Your guard. Your logical mind is protecting you. That left hemisphere of your brain. It can lead the defense of the other team, but it can also be your guard, your guardian, your logic. Defense, circa 1300, action of guarding or shielding from attack or injury. Act of defending by fighting, a fortified place of refuge. From Latin defensus, past participle of defendere, ward off, protect. From Latin defensum, thing protected or forbidden. So, after the center snaps the ball, the offensive line is usually not allowed to touch the ball again. Usually. Because it'll stop your meditation. Because if you can't get through this, if your offensive line can't get through with your resting consciousness, you lose. And I cannot see. Those 10,000 Kelvin light bulbs must be doing a number on me. So we'll do it this old way, this old-fashioned way from the old videos. After the center snaps the ball, the offensive line is usually not allowed to touch the ball again, unless a pass is tipped or the ball is fumbled. Instead, the linemen either act as bulldozers, pushing the defense out of the way on a running play, or protectors, forming a circle or pocket around the quarterback to keep the defense away from him, said Ryland. Offensive linemen are the ultimate teammates. Yes, they are. Because their job is to make their teammates succeed. By blocking the defense, the offensive line makes it possible for the running back to gain yards, consciousness, or the quarterback to make a touchdown pass. Running back. The running back's primary job is to take the ball from the quarterback, the bail, the electrical system, and run with it on rushing plays. Running backs also block for the quarterback on some passing plays and may run out to catch a pass. They're fast players who are powerful enough to shrug off linebackers who try to tackle them. But running backs need more than just speed. Vision. Excuse me. Vision is very important. Karahuta said. I don't know who that is. When running backs get the ball, they don't just run forward. They need to identify the best place to run and be agile enough to get there. A play might be supposed to go in one place, but it's jammed up. This is about intuition. Knowing how to navigate. Through the game. They have to be able to stop on a dime to make the right move somewhere else. Running backs, a running back usually line up in the back of the offense, which is why they're sometimes called the tailback. Offenses usually have one running back on the field at a time. No shit. If there are 5 receivers on the field, there will be 0 running backs. Five receivers feeling in energy on the field. There will be 0 running backs because you're using up your 5, the 5 chakras, your Taurus field. And sometimes there might be 2. Had an inhaler. Hang on a second. Excuse me. Sometimes there might be 2 running backs. Like 2 L's. 2 1s. The 11. You and God. Or sometimes it's 2 people. It takes 2. If 2 people agree on anything in my name, my Father will answer them. A fullback is another kind of running back. Kind of a mix between an offensive lineman and a running back. They usually line up behind the quarterback and in front of the tailback and are often tasked with blocking for the running back, who is typically the primary ball carrier. For this reason, fullbacks are sometimes called blocking backs. They are allowed to carry the ball, though, and sometimes do. If they're not all the way back, then why are they called a fullback? You might wonder. Ryland said the name has been kept from the earliest days of football. In fact, it actually goes back before football. Fullback is a name for a position in rugby, the game's predecessor. Many offenses do not use a fullback very often in the modern, more pass-focused game. Instead, they swap in another receiver. Because in a more pass focused game. They swap in another receiver on the right angle field of play. Fullback. You know what a back is? You know what I'm talking about at this point. Old English full, containing all that can be received, having eaten or drunk to repletion. Filled, perfect, entire, utter. From Proto-Germanic fullaz, F-U-L-L-A-Z, full, source of Old Saxon full, Old Frisian, Friesland, F-U-L, fuller, fully, my ancestors. Dutch vol, V-O-L, which is bell. Old High German, F-O-L. German, V-O-L-L, bell. Old Norse, fuller, thank you. From Proto-Indo-European root, Pele. Jump across the world here. To fill, fuller, fullest. To fill, to receive. Drunk, to repletion. How we doing? It's going to be a long one. Settle in. Tight end. The tight end usually lines up right next to the offensive line. That's the tight part. Tight, Middle English, T-Y-G-H-T, 1300. Thick set, heavy, thick. Dense, close, compact. Alteration of T-H-I-G-H-T from Old Norse. I can't even read that. Petter. Watertight, close in texture, solid. Stout from eating. Dense, thick, seems like full. Genuine, solid, worthy. The tight end players are usually bigger than wide receivers, then that makes sense. But smaller than offensive linemen. And their job is a hybrid of the two. The tight end combines the strength, power, and blocking ability of an offensive lineman with the pass catching and running abilities of a wide receiver. They have to run block like an offensive lineman. They'll also have to get out in space and block like a wide receiver. They'll have to pass protect like an offensive lineman, but they also have to run routes, catch and run with the ball. So, versatility, flexibility. Tight ends, Ryland said, are like a middle-of-the-road character. Middle-of-the-road character. This sounds like your heart. You might create in a video game. They are pretty good at everything and don't have any glaring weaknesses. The sun card. I'm just throwing this stuff out here. They can block, but not as well as an offensive lineman can. And can run and catch, but not as well as a wide receiver can. The middle of the road. The middle path. The tight end. Tight is reconstructed to be from PIE root tank, to become firm, curdle, thicken. Source also of Irish tect, curdled, coagulated. Lithuanian tankus, close, tight. Persian tang, tight. Sanskrit tanakti, draws together and contracts. It sounds like the heart. So it's the heart's end. Old English, end, conclusion, boundary, district, species, class. From Proto-Germanic, Andias, Frisian, enda, Old Dutch, indi, Dutch, endi. Old Norse ender, end, Old High German enti, top, forehead, end. Gothic Andeus, end. Originally the opposite side. Proto-Indo-European antjo, end, boundary, from root ant, which is Anu, as in the sky father, Anunnaki. Ant, A-N-T, front, forehead, in front of, before. The heart's end, the tight end. So it's not just the heart, it's the heart and the tight end. It's talking about your vision, your real vision, the mono eye, the third eye. Your mind's eye, which can do all the things in the game. The middle of the road character. End, original sense of outermost part is obsolete, except in phrase ends of the earth. But that is the ends of the earth. Because when you go past that, it is no longer considered the earth. Sense of destruction and death was in Old English, because you go to no thought. Your consciousness, your waking consciousness, that left brain gets shut down at the pineal gland. Division, quarter of a town. Quarter again. The end, the last straw, the limit, is from 1929. U.S. football end zone. We talked about this. The end zone, 6 points, 0. 1909. Side of the field occupied by one team is from 1851. This idea came to me today. And I text a friend some stuff. I took some notes. I came home. I found some information and learned about football. And then we do these videos, and the rest just comes. I still can't believe I'm doing this, and it's building on this process, but I like that it has a continuity to it, even though it's always new. Wide receivers line up at or near the line of scrimmage, the line where the ball is before the play, outside of the offensive line and the tight end. So wherever it is in the game, in your daily game, where you need to bring the ball back up into the end zone. Being on the edges is the wide part of their position's name, Kabbalatry of life. While they can be used to carry the ball like a running back and may have some responsibility to block on running plays, wide receivers are known for catching passes. They're skilled at plucking passes out of the air, jumping to catch the ball, and using their sticky gloves to grab the ball with one hand. Hands are chakras. They are usually the fastest players on the offense, and they often run predetermined routes on each play. So the quarterback knows, because he knows everything, where to throw the ball. You're up against a lot out there every day. People, other people's energies, this, that, the other, the world. Your wide receivers, they're catching the ball, electrical energy. The quarterback knows what to do with it because he knows everybody and how they work within the field. You have to have the knowledge. Wide receivers also have another special skill: deception. Great receivers can make the opponents think I'm doing one thing before I do the other thing, like my whole last week. Not give away my intentions, and then lean one way and go back to the other. By doing this, these receivers can trick the players who are defending them, giving the receiver more room to catch the ball and run with it after the catch. It becomes automation. These wide receivers could also represent your help, your spirit team, your guides, your ancestors, those around you that are helping you, and everybody has them, whether they're good or bad or whatnot. offensive, defensive. Some receivers even wear face shields over their eyes, which can keep the defender from seeing where they're looking for the ball. And I'm not going to explain everything. I will repeat that. Some receivers even wear face shields over their eyes, which can keep the defender from seeing where they're looking for the ball. This is all within you. Right. Defensive lineman. Linebacker. Linebackers play behind the defensive line. If the defense has 3 defensive linemen, there are usually 4 linebackers. If there are 4 defensive linemen, there are usually 3 linebackers. 7. Linebackers are usually smaller and faster than defensive linemen. In the past, linebackers were responsible for stopping a running back who had run through a hole in the defensive line, tackling receivers on a short or medium pass, and running at the quarterback to try to pressure them to throw or sack them. But like many other positions, linebackers have, this is all Ryland, by the way, I don't know who that is. Linebackers have more roles now than they did in the past. As the game has become more pass-focused, Passover. So the more you do the meditation, your linebackers have more roles now than they did in the past. Modern linebackers need to be able to cover speedy tight ends and even some wide receivers. Linebackers also have important communication roles on many defenses, Oben said. I don't know who these people are. The middle linebacker specifically is often the quarterback of the defense. Protect yourself. That means the middle linebacker may be responsible for looking at the offense before the play, predicting what they think will happen, and telling the other defenders what to do on the upcoming play. There's always the deception. Your mind will always try to trick you. But when you have the up and up, when you have the intuition, and your quarterback is good and knows all the plays and players involved, has all the knowledge, then you will win. Cornerback, corner noun, late 13th century. Place where streets or walls meet. Intersection of any 2 converging lines or surfaces, an angle. Kabbalah tree of life, from Anglo-French cornere, Old French corner, corniere. Well, from Old French, coma, C-O-M-E, come, horn, which means power. Corner. Oh, cornet. Corn, carnal. The carnel is talking about the lower chakra. Power. That constant power to the defensive brain. From vulgar Latin, corna, from Latin cornua, plural of cornu, horn, hard growth on the head of many mammals. A lot of people, their left brain, hard growth on the head of many mammals. From Proto-Indo-European root, K-E-R, from kernel. It's the same for all these words. Horn, head, the horns. Corner, cornerback. Sometimes you'll hear a defensive back called a nickel back or a dime back when a defense has 5 defensive backs on the field at once. 5 senses fighting by having one less linebacker or defensive lineman. The 5th defensive back is called a nickel back. Maybe that's why they hate them. This can be a cornerback, left brain again, 5 senses, or a safety, survival safety, and is often done when the offense has more receivers on the field, too much coming in, or when the offense has further to go and is more likely to pass. They're really trying. If there are 6 defensive backs on the field, the 6th is called a dime back. There are usually 2 safeties. One is called a strong safety and the other is a free safety. The strong safety would be on the strong run side of the offensive formation, which is where a tight end is lined up. Left side of the throat chakra is strength on the tree of life. And the right side is loving kindness, free, the 2 safeties. Special teams. Kicker, noun, 1570s, originally of horses. The horses. Agent now from kick. Kicky is recorded from 1820. Kick verb, late 14th century, to strike out with the foot. Of uncertain origin, perhaps from Old Norse kikna. Bend backwards, sink at the knees. The knees, sink at the knees, strike out with the foot where the foot meets the earth at the root chakra. The Doubts OED has about, I don't know what OED is, but the Doubts OED has about the Scandinavian origin of kick are probably unfounded. I'm sure it's fine. Lieberman. Older sources guessed it to be from Celtic. Earliest in the biblical phrase that is now usually rendered as kick against the pricks, root chakra once again. Punt, punter, to kick a ball dropped from the hands. Hands are chakras. Hands. To kick a ball, bell, the electrical system, dropped from the hands before it hits the ground. 1845, first in a rugby list of football rules of obscure origin, perhaps from dialectal punt to push. To push. Strike. Alteration of Midlands dialect, bunt, to push. Butt with the head. The connection. Butt with the head, fight with the head, butt. Conflict with the head. (1825) to strike with the head or horns of a goat or calf, which is a bull. Perhaps an alteration of butt with a goat in mind, or a survival for Mid-English bunten, to leap back, return. Perhaps from a variant of Old French bondir, see bound. As a baseball term from 1889. Also compare punt. Bunt. 1767, a push with the head, consciousness, or horns, brain, consciousness. Of a goat or calf, the ox, the bull, the A. C, bunt, baseball sense, stop the ball with the bat without swinging the bat, holding it steady. 1889. And last we have long snapper of the special teams. The long snapper. Something else. The long snapper is a special kind of center who snaps the ball on punts and kicks. They snap the ball between their legs to the punter on a punt or to the player holding the ball for the kicker on field goals and PATs. Snap. 1550s, perhaps late 15th century. A quick sudden bite or cut, an eager seizing. Meditation. Desire. From snap verb, or if the earlier date, a noun from Dutch, or Low German, snappen, to snap, which are probably related to Middle Low German or Middle Dutch, snavel, bill, or beak, which Watkins traced to a hypothetical Germanic root, SNU, forming words having to do with the nose. Imitative of a sudden drawing of breath. Who has a bill and a beak, a bird, and a bird represents the spirit or soul, the photon, your light within you. Snap the ball. U.S. football census from 1912. Earlier, it was snap back, 1880, which also was the name for the offensive center position. So it's a football team. Middle English, T-E-M-E, a family, tribe, native stock. Since is now obsolete in parentheses. I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what it means. Because your senses are now obsolete. Because you're a family, a tribe, native stock. From Old English team, T-E-A-M, descendant, family, race, line, childbearing, brood. These are all terms of meditation. Company, band. From Proto-Germanic, Taumaz, Tammuz, Talmaz, source of Old Norse, Talmer, Old Frisian, Tom, T-A-M, bridal, Pegasus, progeny, line of descent, Dutch tomb, T-O-O-M, Old High German, Z-O-U-M, German, Z-A-U-M, bridal, Ammon's horn, the bridle of Pegasus. Bridle, probably literally that which draws like water. From Proto-Indo-European Dukmo, D-O-U-K-M-O, from root duke, to lead. It was applied in Old English to groups working together for some purpose, such as a set of draft animals yoked together Jesus said to take up his yoke. I could be paraphrasing. The word yoke means yoga. A set of draft animals yoked together in early Middle English, especially as a legal legal term, group of people acting together to bring suit. Like the coat of many colors. The modern general sense of persons associated in some joint action is from 1520s, especially one of the parties or sides in a contest or match. 1846, like in cricket. American football. Team spirit is recorded by 1879 in U.S. sports jargon, perhaps suggested by esprit de corps. Esprit de corps. Team player is attested by 1886, originally in baseball. Team sport is by 1964. The older senses relating to offspring or capacity for childbearing are more evident in team, T-E-E-M. Team, T-E-A-M, 1550s, harness beasts in a team. From T-E-A-M, it is attested from 1841 as drive a team. The meaning come together as a team, usually with up, is attested from 1932. The transitive sense, use something in conjunction with something else. What have we been talking about? Is from 1948. The Old English verb tie man, is attested only in the sense bring forth, beget, engender, propagate. It's all terms about meditation. Game, 1200, from Old English, G-A-M-E-N, joy, fun, game, amusement. Common Germanic cognates, Old Frisian game, joy, glee. What are we seeking? Old Norse game, sport, pleasure, amusement. Old Saxon gamen, Old High German gamen, sport, merriment, Danish gamen, Swedish gaman, merriment, said to be identical with Gothic gamen, participation. Communion. Communion. Communion with God. The game. The big game. The Super Bowl. From Proto-Germanic ga, collective prefix, and man, person. The ga, Gaia, gi, ga, and man. Giving a sense of people together, the nation, the earth, the playing field. Ball is related to blue. Which is the color of the throat chakra. From where your feet, the root chakra, touch the earth, to the ball of the foot. The football field, your Taurus field, is the field of play also. The kick, the sinking of the knees, the third chakra from the Colossus of Rhodes video. Kick the emotions, the city, the moon god sin. Abraham. The 5 offensive linemen trying to get to Jacob's pineal gland, seeing God face to face, the Peniel. The touchdown of God's power in the end zone, where you get 6 points because it is the 6th chakra. Then you can go for a 7th, or you can go for a 2-point conversion. Convert the renewed mind. You go and come back. But your consciousness, the left brain, your waking consciousness, will always try to stop you, the defensive line. It will lay hold of you, tackle. The rigging of the ship, the deception. Your brain is designed to deceive you. Sure. Your left brain, your waking consciousness, it can steer the ship. It can steer you in the seas of life. But it can steer you right into storms and right into the rocks. And you can lose the game. Old English. Lose. Lusion. Be lost, perish. From los, destruction, loss. No thought. From Proto-Germanic, Lausa, Lausa, source also of Old Norse, LOS, the breaking up of an army. Old English for Leosan, we'll break that down another time. To lose, destroy, Egypt, Babylon. Old Frisian for Liasa. Old Saxon far Leosan. Middle Dutch Verliesen. Old High German Verliosan. German Verlieren. Do you see how the R and L's are switching? As well as English. Less, loss, loose. The Germanic word is from Proto-Indo-European, an extended form of root, L-E-U, to loosen, divide, cut apart. Win, to be successful or victorious. In a game, contest, or battle. 1300, winnin, a fusion of Old English win on. To labor, toil, struggle for, work at, contend, fight. Like chore, household work, meditation. And GE win on, GE win on, GE, genera. To gain or succeed by struggle and conquer, obtain. Both are from Proto-Germanic weenanon, to seek to gain, which is reconstructed to be from Proto-Indo-European root W-E-N, to desire and strive for. Which Bootcon, I don't know who that is, calls a clearly reconstructible root with different semantic developments, but probably originally want, hence try to obtain. Buckeyes. Buck, noun. Dollar, 1856 American English, perhaps an abbreviation of buckskin. because the Buckeyes, the nut from the tree was named after the buckeye, the male deer, one single eye. Perhaps an abbreviation of buckskin as a unit of trade among Indians and Europeans in frontier days attested from 1748. Buck is a male deer. $1. The one unit of money. The monai. The mono eye. The single eye. The back, the book, the buck. The buckeye from the tree, the one eye from the buck, the male deer. And we're full circle again. Deer, Old English, dior, wild animal, beast, any wild quadruped. Male deer have horns. Male bull or an ox has horns. The stag god. You have horns. The claustrum, the two hemispheres, the horns. We've talked about that. It's all related. And I'm sure there is more, but I do not know enough about football. And this is about as much as I want to do right now. And I really have to pee. So, American football. A, letter A, meditation, ox, the bull. The ox head. Me. Go read Krishna. The me. The higher me. The mer, which means water. The re, R-I, the higher Ra, the sun god. Eri, E-R-I, Arya, the Aryans, the Levites. Can, C-A-N, serpent. On, A-on, the O-N, the light within you, the city of the sun god. The bull's head, the A, the watery serpent, the Murray Khan, and the Ka, the C-A, the K-A, is soul. And N was originally drawn as a serpent, American. And I've already explained football. This is its Wakey time. American football. Enjoy yourselves tomorrow. Have a good time. Watching the big game. We will be enjoying the big game. Thank you. I love you so much. This is a long one. And I really gotta pee. So take care, everybody.